Welcome to Model Horse Tack School. My name is Carrie, and today we're going to kind of do a review of this E9000 glue, one of the different gel glues that's available, and we're going to do it by making a faux leather English saddle. I did a Western one, and I wasn't pleased with the way the glue worked with the fabric. So this would be, instead of my suede, I'm going to use this fabric, but see how I actually could use this side for suede, but this would be my skiver. And the glue, the Aleene's, which I like very much, would absorb too much into this. So I need something less water-based for this kind of fabric. This was Hobby Lobby. It's got this white background, again, fabric, with your faux leather. So I kind of was stuck with this, but it'll suffice because almost all the fake leather, faux leather, pleather, whatever, have fabric on the back. Even my favorite Ultra Suede, which I can't find anymore, has the fabric. So we'll go ahead and get this cut out. I'm basically going to use my Polo Pony English saddle. Okay, I just kind of want to read the label here on this glue and see some of the reasons why I don't use this stuff. Possible cancer agent, contains something that I cannot pronounce. Read cautions on individual containers carefully. Vapor harmful. You've got to be in a well-ventilated place. May cause skin irritation. That's the #1 reason why I stopped using it. My hands would get a rash. Prolonged exposure to vapor may cause eye irritation, dizziness, headache, or nausea. Intentional misuse by deliberately concentrating and inhaling the contents may be harmful. Keep out of reach of children. Avoid inhalation. I did this in a confined area. It wasn't this particular glue, but same one that had the harmful vapor thing. Got a really deep whiff of this stuff on accident. 6 weeks coughing and lungs hurting. 6 weeks of that. Use an exhaust fan to remove vapor, or use adequate cross ventilation. Avoid ingestion. Well, that's true. Avoid skin and eye contact. Wash hands immediately after use. If symptoms occur, move to fresh air. In the eyes, rinse cautiously with plenty of water. On skin, wash with plenty of soap and water. If symptoms persist, seek medical attention.
Okay, because we have the white edge of the fabric, we're going to have to edge coat. I'm just using a Sharpie. You can use paint. You could use the leather edge coat, kind of a waste. Sharpie is working really well here. Going to do that around all of the edges, and once that's done, then we can set up our glue station. So we need something to put the glue on. We need a spreader. We need the glue. Now here I am shaping the tree. This is like normal. If you've seen any of my other pattern or videos on English saddles, this is how we do the shape of the aluminum tree. You bend it right along that line all around the edge. Then we round it in the front, and we kind of try to give the seat some shape by rolling that upward. Because this glue dries pretty fast, we're just going to put out a little blob, and we're going to try and work quickly. So you glue it right in that area that's same shape as the felt. Okay, so we're going to get that spread. Trying really hard not to touch this stuff. I'd wear gloves, except the glue sticks to the gloves, and that tends to be annoying. So we're just going to try really hard not to touch it. Now this is the flaps, and we're going to go ahead and put the padding on. The Polo Pony doesn't have a lot of padding. It's one of those annoying things about using a gel glue is you have to stop to put more out when what's on the glue holder is gone. Now I should have pushed that felt back a little bit because I'm not dealing with leather, so it doesn't, this next piece that I'm putting on has no pull or bend in it. So I wasn't able to cover that felt. I had to trim it off. So just keep in mind you'll need to push that back a little bit if you want it to cover in the front. And trying to do a lot of gluing here. Right. Now I'll have to come back with that Sharpie, and any place where the white shows, I have to go ahead and redo that with a Sharpie to make it dark. Get more glue out. The stuff is stringy, so the spinning of your glue spreader is going to be important to not have the strings, otherwise you make little spaghetti strings. And we only glue on the side here on this tree. And I have these out at the same time because I'm trying to use up that glue as quickly as possible so it doesn't dry. Only put out what you can use in maybe a 2 or 3 minute time span. I don't even know how long this was. Now we're going to secure the cover, the tree seat cover. And it's going to be different than leather. It's going to behave differently. It's not going to stretch, which I really miss the stretch that I get with suede or leather or skyber. Oops, touch the glue. You can see here it's starting to get dry up, so that makes it a little interesting. More glue. Now you don't have to use, this is just a little piece of cardboard I pulled. I always have spare cardboard for projects. And so it's just a little piece of that. Came from trash bag box. You can use like a plastic lid from like sour cream or yogurt. Yogurt didn't have lids anymore. Or sour cream. If you want, because then you could peel it off after it's dry and reuse the lid. I just didn't have any. I do that for paint. Yeah, that's where I really miss the aliens. Getting those corners down. See, I have to touch it. I have no choice. So I'm just cutting right along the same diagonal as the piece next to it. So it ends up those two pieces are kissing. And it's different every time. So that's why I don't, cut it out in the pattern. Yep, all that. And you have to peel it off, otherwise you'll end up gluing that into, it'll fall off into your pattern. So, and this is where it wasn't going to close because it doesn't stretch like leather. So I was a little unhappy with that. I haven't made a faux English saddle since probably I was 15. Because that's all I had to use in my teens. I didn't start getting to use all the good stuff until I was married. I was 30, and then I could afford to buy the good stuff. Back here also is going to be a little bit different than using leather. So trying to you got to work with the material you have, and however the material is behaving is what you have to deal with. So not super thrilled. See, all through that whole thing I had to touch the glue. Now it's all over my hands. Now I used to use it so often that I would get a rash. Got to a point where I was so saturated with it, I get a really terrible rash. And now I don't use this glue or any of the gel glues except for super glue or depends. Loctite has one, but anyways, they're all really the same glue. They just whoever owns the patent on it or whatever. But I do that for metal to leather. Sometimes Aliens actually does a pretty good job. See there, I trimmed out that felt because it was, not at all happy with the way this is. Well, it does set up pretty good, so yep, got rid of that too. So anyways, the Aliens will work on metal, the small pieces, once it's dry. It works very well. But if I really think I need the hold, then I will use the super glue, and I will usually put on gloves for that. So I will not touch gel glue probably for 6 months. because it saturates in my skin so easily, and then I get these really painful rash. And then it causes foot cracks as my body decides to push that away from my heart, the chemical. So it's a long healing process. I'm doing this for you guys to show you how you can use a gel glue if that's what you want to do. I mean, this would be the same for Duco cement. Now, this particular E6000 was very rubbery. Great for shoe repair, I would think. It's just very rubbery. It dries pretty quickly. So here it was dried, and I'm going to try and fix those corners. All right, we're trimming away all the, sorry, eked out of the frame a little bit. Trimming away all the stuff on the inside. Now we're going to put these two, those are the jockeys on. And yeah, harder to control than the aliens, I think. Some people get very good at doing the gel glue with a stick. And yeah, here I was trying to thin out that edge so it would lay flatter on the seat. But anyway, some people swear by their gel glue. You can get good and really good at using the stick that's just a toothpick. You can do that with white glue too. So whatever you want to try, whatever works best for you. I find just a small hole in the alien's white glue works really good. Now here I'm setting up to get the stirrup bar / bolts. I don't know, whatever they're called on the English saddle. I'm sure there's a name for it. I just don't have my book out to check it. Okay, now we're going to do the stirrup bars. Put the needle in, 90 degree, pull it back, spin it around. Right where that curve starts flaring outwards again, you do a 90 degree inward, 90 degree outward, and then, or downward and then outward, so that it will tweak it a little bit outward so it'll fit right in that flap there. They're not going to look the same on both sides. It's okay. Nobody's going to see them. Just get them close. Because you just need an opening for leather lace right behind the arms of that tree. So that's kind of where you want a nice flat bar. Put it in, 90 degree. Pull it in, spin it around, 90 degree upward or inward, 90 degree downward. And when I do the downward, I tweak it. I've done so many of these. You should take your time. I just really want you to see that you can use faux leather. If that's all you have, so don't think you can't make these with faux leather. You do have to find the right faux leather. Okay, I got out a new toothpick because the other one was all hooked up. Okay, now we're going to work on the piping. You have two pieces of piping. So with this pattern, because it's a polo pony pattern, there's no knee blocks, no knee pads, no nothing. So there's nothing to do with that, the flaps piece. And I'm just doing a fold over because I'm just trying to not put a lot of glue on my fingers. I'm trying to push the glue so that it's rounded as much as possible on the edge, so it's not flat folded over. It's kind of rounded. Same thing here. See how quickly that stuff dries, and then it turns into rubber, little rubber pellets. So, and I don't like to waste glue. It just seems like a lot of glue. That's why I stopped using. Many reasons why I stopped using gel. I mean, the biggest one was the rash on my hands and the ventilation issue. I lived in Arizona, Phoenix, and in the summertime it's 120 degrees out, so it's not like I could open a window. And ventilating into the house did not make my significant other, my hubby, happy. Okay, now we're going to work on the gullet piece. So I bend it in half so I know where center is, and then I start doing these little darts to take out the extra so that it can bend without creating a lot of bulk. does like wrinkles. So these kind of act as, I don't call them darts, but it takes out the excess because it has to go around to the circular end on that gullet piece. I'm running out of clean places to put my extra glue, put my new glue. All right, so I want to get that, and then you bend it around and bend it around. And I would definitely will use a little glue at a time here. Don't try and do the whole glue on the whole piece at once. Just do a little bit at a time. You have more control that way. All right, so that's pretty much what it looks like right there. Pushing it down so it's flat. Now we're going to assemble it all together. So you put that little tree arm in there, that little hole, and then you want it flush, maybe a little back from the front, so you can't really see that underneath the tree. And I'm going to do the arm, glue that down at the same time. Now, I'm giving the same 5 seconds I give to Aileen's glue. In the process of this, I busted that hole, but we could still use it. So same thing, put some glue under there, push it a little bit back up front, so you can't quite see it from the front. And I'll glue down that arm as well. Like I said, it was kind of counting to 5, so 5 seconds is about good for a setup time. More glue. And now we do the back. Put that, right where that strap is going to fit, and make sure that it's centered so it looks symmetrical in the front. So now what I'm doing is, because I'm trying to stay away from using leathers, I'm going to use some skinny ribbon. This is 1/8 inch lace, and I'm going to use that for my billets. I'm only going to put in 2 because you really only need 2. And we need to put those right in there. So fold them in half to find center. And I mean, you could do leather lace on any of my English saddles instead of that billet piece. Totally up to you. It'll work. Some people don't have leather lace, and so having it to cut out is pre-cut out is just helpful. So here, I kind of know where that piece goes in the back, so I went ahead and put the piece on the seat. You might want to put the piece on the gullet piece instead, up to you. And there we go. And that piece not only covers the gullet, but helps keep your billet straps from falling out. Now I'm just trimming up the flaps, the underskirt. I can't even remember what the name of it is, but anyways, these are the padding pieces that go on the bottom of the saddle. And oh, more glue, because you never have enough. And I just went ahead and put it directly on there. I was getting frustrated with that glue. So we're going to fit that in there. And we're going to use these clamps. I do this with white glue too. Just clamp the whole thing. And now while that's drying, because that's pretty critical, I don't want to play with it till that dries, I'm going to go ahead and cut this skinny ribbon for the girth. So this is a padded girth that's using, that faux leather for skyber. And now we're going to, my fan is really blowing. We're going to go ahead and put glue all the way down the middle. And yeah, it doesn't want to spread like peanut butter does it. So I'm laying it all the way down. I don't have as much control, but anyways, you lay those in the middle in thirds, and you want to have a space between them. You see, so that when you You're going to fold over, so that your seam is right in the middle of those two pieces of lace. And then right down that middle, kind of creating a channel here. So I got a little lopsided there. No, doesn't matter because we're going to cover that up with another piece of ribbon. I love watching me struggle with this fabric. It's been so long since I've had to use fabric with this glue. It's just, I find my efforts humorous. So there's the other piece of ribbon right down that center. I'm not really going to finish up this girth because this is going to be a trash piece. But anyways, that's how you do the fabric part and the ribbon part. Then you put on buckles, and if you want, you put on a center D for your martingale. Otherwise, if you don't have the center D, you can just you do a loop on your martingale, so you don't have to worry about buckles and stuff. But there you go. And now back to the saddle. So I'm peeling off that excess, rubbery it is, and I don't need that excess. But now we're going to do the other side, and it's really important that this sticks because there's no tabs or anything. You know, this is just basically glue it to the back, so it has to stick. Trying to arrange it so it's the same on both sides. It's back far enough that you don't really see it in the back. And then it's just got to try and make sure it's even on both sides, that it matches or mirrors the other side. And here, there's all that excess glue. So, hey, not too bad. Just letting that sit. So right there in the front, we have that last piping piece. Now, because there's no knee blocks on this, I really only need it in the very front, and then I could pull it the ends towards the back. So we go there. So that's the middle, and then I just kind of want to get around that curve and then pull it into the back. So I don't need that whole piece. Like that. There's your finish. It's right where it kind of curves backwards. That's where you're going to curve it back and then tuck it under like that. Now I'm not putting in the D's. So another thing you could do is put in the D's. Okay, try to make sure it looks the same on both sides, that piping piece. Off. And I'm just going to let that sit and dry for a bit. Okay, so here you go. It's the finished piece. Aside from the fact that it has heavy texture on that faux leather and the double tone, looks pretty good. I mean, definitely, if you're just beginning and you just want to make a bunch of saddles for your horses and you're not going to show, it's a great hobby. And it's a ton of fun. Well, thank you for spending time with me today. Like, subscribe, tell all your friends about the channel, and have yourself a really good day.